Hey my Liptons, so I wanted to do this video on Caroline Forbes. So as you know, I did like how many videos? I know I did a shorts YouTube video, and I also did a video of me basically being team Klaus and Caroline, and I'm still team Klaus and Caroline. But I was on Twitter, right? And there's this discussion, there's this Stan war thing that happens on Twitter, even sometimes on YouTube comments, but mostly on Twitter, where people feel like, oh, y'all want to ship Klaus and Caroline, but Klaus, you know what I'm saying, stabbed Caroline with a lampshade and bit her, and he did a few things to her as well. But here's my thing, right? And I feel like this needs to be a more broader conversation. Personally, I just feel like, because I'm rewatching Vampire Diaries, and it's just like there's this thing where where Caroline just continues to forgive her, the people who cause her harm or tries to cause her harm. It's not just something that starts with Klaus. You know what I mean? It starts off with obviously, she feels bad for Catherine at a certain point, even though Catherine is the one that killed her. If you guys go to season 6, 5 or 6, I believe, where when Catherine passed away, I don't know if y'all remember when she went to Thailand, it was just like, I kind of feel bad that she died. So, and Catherine, was the one that that caused Caroline to become a vampire. If you look at, what I'm saying, Tyler as well has caused harm to Elena. Why do I keep saying Elena? Has caused harm to Caroline. Tyler, if y'all remember, Tyler's one of his pack people from the wolf pack people, Jules, if y'all remember her. Remember, she got Caroline kidnapped and got her tortured in that little box chain place thing that they put her in, and she asked Tyler for help. And remember, Tyler didn't help her at first. And she was very upset about that. And she was very pissed off at Tyler for that. There was a few times where Tyler has turned into a wolf and almost killed Caroline, even though, yes, Caroline also, and if you think about it, put herself in that kind of predicament, because it's she was trying to help, but at the same time, she thought that Tyler was going to have some kind of self-control while he was in his wolf form, not to harm her. But, that was very naive of her to think that. But, yeah, he almost killed her, a few times. And she still forgave him. You know what I mean? Oh, also, with Tyler, Klaus freaking compelled Tyler to bite Caroline. You know what I mean? Even though, yeah, that was Klaus, people gonna be like, well, that's Klaus. But I'm just like, yeah, it's Klaus. But it's if Stefan can withhold from draining the blood out of Elena while compelled, I feel like you can do that too, especially if you claim to love Caroline and things like that, and Caroline's the love of your life, and yada yada yada. Who else? Matt. Oh my god, I forgot about Matt. It's just I try to block some of these relationships that Caroline has had in these shows, because it's just been so, Caroline has been the victim of terrible writing. I'm gonna get into that a little bit. Matt, let's be very clear, y'all. When Matt first got with Caroline, let's be very clear, Matt was still into Elena. In a way, I felt like Matt was kind of, in the beginning, low-key using Caroline, because it was just you know what, I don't have a girlfriend, the love of my life is with Stefan, so it's just I felt like in a way that he was just using Caroline as a rebound, not so much as a like a partner. And of course, like as time goes on, I do feel like he did kind of love Caroline, but like not to the extent where he loved Elena. I just always felt that way about Matt. I never felt, and plus, just personally speaking, I never liked Caroline and Matt together. But then again, I don't even like Caroline and Stefan together. So that's a whole. I'm gonna get to Stefan in a minute. And obviously Klaus. You know, people are gonna be like, "Well, Klaus, yes, Klaus. You know, caused, you know, harm and all that shit to Caroline and things like that." But you know, hey, I sound so freaking crazy right now. But it's like, hey, bitch, like anybody named Mama caused Caroline harm. Okay, even Caroline's dad, you know, had Caroline tortured while she was a vampire. So it's just like, and that was her dad, the one that's supposed to protect her, and he caused her harm. So, and of course, when we get to Stefan, you know what I'm saying. And honestly, and like I said before, I personally believe that Caroline was the victim of the character of Caroline was a victim of terrible writing. When I watch how Stefan and Caroline even got together, it's just like, personally for me, I feel like Caroline was lonely. You know, Klaus was gone, Tyler broke up with her. I felt like she had nobody, and like the person who she saw and saw as a person who was good to her, has always been good to her, has always been there for her. You know, she ended up thinking that was like love, even though personally, I personally feel like, you know, the writers of TVD built up Stefan and Caroline to be siblings. I have to be honest. Yes, in the beginning, Caroline was into Stefan, but it's like, girl, Stefan was all Elena. And even as you go on, in the beginning, look at the beginning of season, what was it, season 6? Look at it. Stefan wasn't even into Caroline like that. Stefan was just like, listen, like, I do not look at Caroline like that. I do not look at her as, like, she's just a bet. Like, you know, it's giving bestie sister vibes. It's giving bestie sister vibes. It's just like, I do not look at her like that. And I just feel like Stefan was in a way pressured into getting into a relationship with Caroline. I low-key feel that way. Damon pressured him. Alaric, all them people pressured him, because it was just like, at the end of the day, you don't have Elena, you don't have anybody, might as well, you know, pick the one, like, pick the apple out of the bunch kind of thing. Pick an apple out of the bunch. And that's how I felt personally. And I always felt like, you know, Stefan has always put Damon above Caroline, even when there was quote unquote in love and all that shit. He always picked other people's self-interest above Caroline. So it's just like, and he killed himself. Without Caroline's like approval or anything like that. Did he even get her word on it? So it's just like, at the end of the day, all these people have hurt Caroline. So here's my thing. I want to have a discussion with y'all. Do y'all think that Caroline, in a way, suffers from a little bit of low self, because she definitely has low self-esteem in season 1, like that's not even a question, like she did suffer from that. Do you think that she had a little bit of that in any kind of, you know what I'm saying, validation or a little bit of love that she gets from people, particularly from men, you know, whether that be her father or whether that be, you know, romantic partners? She feels like that's just like, oh, I gotta be with him. And it's just a discussion. Personally, I really, really love Caroline. She's one of my faves. I do feel like she's been through so much. Even Damon, you know, even though, yeah, Damon and, you know, Caroline has never liked Damon. Damon has caused her a lot of harm. And it took her a long time to like forgive him. And as she honestly, I would have never forgave Damon for what he did to me, if the stuff that he did to Caroline. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, in the beginning of season 1, Damon assaulted Caroline. He fed from her, and I just feel like, you know, Elena wasn't very considerate of Caroline's feelings when that happened. You know what I mean? So it's just like, That's why I'm such a fan of human Elena. I do not like vampire Elena. And vampire Elena pissed me the F off. Like, for real. But, just to continue, you know, all these guys have caused Caroline harm, but yet Caroline has forgiven all these people. So I don't think that this just a Klaus thing. You know what I mean? I feel like this is a thing that she has runs in with all of the guys in TVD or in Vampire Diaries. All these men have caused her harm, you know, and I just feel like it's a discussion to be had. It's like, okay, is Caroline kind of giving a little bit of like, oh my God, like I need to forgive these people because they're this to me, they're that to me, or because, like, you know, but it's a situation where, like, if we think about it too, these characters be forgiving these people way too easily. Like, Elena forgave Damon a lot. Even human Elena has forgiven even when they weren't, you know, even though they weren't together. But, like, she's forgiving him a lot for a lot of crazy stuff too that he has caused her, you know. I would say in a way Bonnie has in a way helped, like, she kind of held some of these vampires accountable, but it's just like I feel like Caroline and well, I would say Caroline has held Klaus accountable a little bit more than she's held Stefan accountable, more than she's held Tyler and anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and you know, Caroline felt guilty about even getting together with Klaus, even though personally I wouldn't have ever felt guilty about that shit. But she did feel guilty for sleeping with Klaus. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm still Klaus. Team Klaus and Caroline. But tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think that it's a low self-esteem insecurity thing? Or do you think it's something within Caroline where it's like, oh, like she feels like she needs to accept the men that cause her harm? Because this isn't a discussion, and you know, it's not only people on Twitter that bring this up. Julie Plec, you know, who is the creator of the show, and I don't like her. Julie Plec brings this up a lot, saying that, oh my God, y'all trying to ship Klaus and Caroline, but Klaus did this to Caroline and Klaus did that to Caroline, and da 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 da. And I'm just like, okay, and what did Tyler did to Caroline? What did Stefan did to Caroline? What did Damon did to Caroline? What about Elena? What Damon did to Elena? You know what I mean? And or what has Damon did to Bonnie? So it's just like Julie Plec picks and chooses like when to say that what character is not worthy of being together, especially when it comes to Klaus and Caroline, and when it comes to Bonnie and Damon. Even though personally for me, I'm also not a, as far as like the TV show, I'm not really too here for Damon and Bonnie being together, but that's a whole other video. But clearly there's a fan base that wants Damon and Bonnie to be together. But yeah, you know, Julie Plec and her sidekicks pick and choose who they want to be together, especially when it comes. Listen, they don't question. She don't like nobody questioning how Damon and freaking Elena got together. You know, she likes that. She likes that ending. But when it comes to anybody else, oh my God, it's this, it's that. Oh my God, flaws, this and that and that. Even though Damon is like the worst person in the world, you know what I mean? But they're all terrible. That's the thing. They're all terrible in their own way. Like, it's clear, you know? So it's just like, let these vampires be together. Let these vampires be together. At the end of the day, they're all terrible. They all do terrible things. They all kill people. Let's stop having this morality test with freaking Damon and Klaus or Stefan and Damon. It's just like, they're all vampires. They all kill people. They all got blood in their hands. That's it. Period. I know I kind of veered off a little bit because I know this is supposed to be about Caroline, but it's just like, let these vampires be together, okay? There is no morality thing when it comes to these people. They like, it's not. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please, guys, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe, please, and like the video. Like the video, okay? I keep getting views on these videos. Like the video, y'all. And please subscribe. All right, bye, my Liptons. See